Alright, so in this video, we're going to be doing a head-to-head, the Reefs 300 versus the Jevries Super Pump. Speed and torque. Let's get into it. First round is going to be the torque test. We're going to put up the #1 champion to date, the Reefs 300. It's not the torque. It's not the most torqueous servo, but it's the most torqueous with the highest speed that we have. So this is, let's see, the Reefs 300 first, and then we're gonna go again. And then we're gonna pull up the challenger, the Jevries Super Pump True Hop Servo. All right, so here we got the test rig. It's basically a fish scale bolted to a plank with the metal bracing just to make sure everything stays nice and straight. These servos do tend to pull a little bit of weight. And I have the servo horn set on the most inside horn. And yeah, so I mean, this is basically gonna be what the servos pull on this rig, one versus the other. So it's not the lab rig, it's not the specs that they use on the servo testers inside the factories and all that shit. This is throw the servo onto a rig, put it in the same conditions, 2 servos, and what's gonna pull harder than the other. And that's just basically how I got it set up. Doing reefers 300. Okay, so Reefs 300, we have it pulling 395 OZ. That's a serious banger. Remember, this is not lab results. This is 2 servos, one against the other on the same test rig. Which one is going to pull more? So we got the Reefs 300 pulling 395 OZ. And then we're going to pull up the challenger, the Jevries Super Pump True Hop Servo. Alright, so we got the Jevries Super Pump on the torque test rig. Let's see what she does. And very surprisingly, the Jevries True Hop Super Pump is outperforming its specs. I mean, it's rated to be, you know, a few 20, 30 OZ less powerful than the Reefs 300, but on the rig, you know, exact same conditions, exact same battery pack and all that, it pulled 394. That's 1 OZ difference. I mean, that's definitely pumping hard. So what we know so far is that the 2 servos are pretty much producing the same amount of power. Super Pump, you know, very slight bit less, but I mean, almost spot on identical. All right, let's jump into the speed test. Let's see which one of these 2 is faster than the other. And this one, I'm not surprised. I was really expecting the super pump to turn out the faster hit, and without question, it's got a faster hit. Now we're looking at, you know, slow motion and very minute differences, but when it comes to maximizing the performance and getting the most that you can get, I mean, that little difference makes a difference. And in this case right now, we have the super pump really outshining the 300. It's hitting just as hard, but it's doing that hit faster. And I mean, as far as the results go, I mean, we have a clear winner. Jevries Super Pump takes the crown from the Reefs 300 as the go-to hop servo for the Red Cat Lowriders. Now, a lot of everything is going to depend on your setup. Getting the most out of both the 300 and the Super Pump really takes the shortest horn that you can fit on the car, because we're maximizing the speed, and we're going to use that speed to generate as much torque as possible with the short horn. Now, myself personally, I can't fit the 10 millimeter horn off this one here, but I'm going to run the 12.5, which, I mean, as far as the two specking so close together, they're pretty much going to perform at the same amount of boost depending on whatever servo horn you're using, so it really shouldn't matter as far as which one, this one or the other. Looks like we have a new winner, Jevries True Hop Super Pump. As the servo says, ultra fast performance for RC lowriders, and it do not lie. Fastest servo I've ever tested. I've not seen anything run faster than the Jevries Super Pump, and it hits just as hard as the 300, so that's all bangarang. So the results are in, and the speed test and the torque test, we basically have the Super Pump True Hop ultra fast performance Jevries Servo, in my opinion, taking the crown here. Hits the same amount of power, and she is a faster servo, the fastest servo that I have ever tested. So this actually be a great servo for like drift cars and stuff too, man. Don't tell the drift guys, because there's only enough stock for the lowrider, so don't tell anybody that runs drift cars about these servos. With that, I hope you liked the video, and I'll see you in the next one.